and then falling all over the place in the restaurant. That in and of itself just got me. And there's another famous scene that never makes it into any television editions, which is kind of a bummer because it developed this kind of like, I don't want to see like, well, I'm not obviously cult status, but this scene is known for not having been in the film. And she comes home and what did she accidentally, I don't know, I forget. She accidentally made her first steal, whatever it was, and or thought of it, and they're thinking of it. And while she's doing this whole scene, she's on the toilet. She's literally on the toilet, you guys, and peeing while she's talking about all this stuff that she's going to do, that they're going to do, that this is how they're going to do it now, and they're scheming. Well, and then they end up like robbing the phone company and everything. Okay, now I'm going to try and get on those eyes. I know. Because I mean, I'm sorry, the lips. The lips have to be done. I don't, you can notice I don't do any face work until the eyes are on because I can't. I can't work that way. I never have been able to. The eyes start and then, you guys, I am so not having the no glasses thing. But anyway, so, okay, let's get to real work here. And I mean, like I said, hysterical. They have scenes where they're literally robbing the phone company. Like they're people are in line. We used to actually have to stand in line and go pay our phone bill. If you can believe that, we did. And your electric bill, and you went to places to do this. And so they go to. They went to an evangelist. Okay, I know this is gonna drive you crazy, you guys, but I actually, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna use these for this one. I promise. I just always have not refused, but liner pencil. Love it. Go for it. It's not my thing. But when it does come in handy, and the reason I do use it in drag is because if you don't give yourself a stencil to work off of, when you're in drag and you're in a nightclub, you are screwed. Because the lighting, as I mentioned before, in nightclubs, let alone in the bathroom, and you don't even know which bathroom you're going into. You could be in the ladies' room, which always had better lighting, of course, but relatively speaking, if you did not have a stencil to work off of, then you had nothing to follow. You had to give yourself a line to follow to just fill in for filling in. But on a regular lip, I prefer to brush the outside on, and I don't focus on the outer edge. And brush on the edges, and I don't worry about the thinking, that part where it connects. Okay, see, that's enough of a stencil for me to work off of. So, speaking of makeup on Fun with Dick and Jane, I had never, and I don't think I had ever since, had to get body paint on all the time. Every day on the set. We shot it in what was a relatively new housing development. um, because let's see, we're gonna do. Okay, let's start now. I don't have a, you guys, I don't have like a body paint thing to use for the devil part. So I'm fully improvising this, and you don't even want to know how I'm doing this because it's sick, dude. It's sick. But it's not going to be red like you would hope a devil would be, but here we go. So, not nearly, right? So, I had never had to, you're going to have to really, really get creative with this one, you guys, because I don't have a red devil. This is going to be more like a pink devil, but I can work with pink devil. Why not? And I don't know, it's like, I mean, I guess I had t-shirts on and stuff, but it is the one and only time I was accosted every morning, you know, not in a bad way, for, I mean, sponging the arms, sponging the hands, sponging of the everything. And I'm like, okay. I did have some outdoor scenes. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's why. But but a lot of my scenes are, speaking of scenes in that film, before I go in too deep, again, you are so getting an approximation of this because this would normally be like a bright, bright red, but I couldn't find it. So this is what we're doing, a blush devil today. But the two scenes that, I don't know, whatever, were my scenes that, like, you know, made me, oh, you're the kid that said whatever. God, it used to drive me crazy. I say, they talk about like imminent financial whatever, and I'm there, and I go, we're not going to be poor like the Waltons, are we? And the Waltons were like, well, those in my generation will remember the Waltons were a dirt poor family. The series that went on for seemingly thousands of years. And so, you know, it's so, you had to been there moment because it's not, you know, it's like, I don't even know. Well, I guess just like with everything, those lines like that are so dated that I don't know. What do you do? Google? What did he mean when he said that? But I say, we're not going to be poor like the Waltons. Oh my God, that brought the town down. They just thought that was the funniest thing. You're the kid that said we're going to be poor like the Waltons. The other scene, which I don't even remember seeing since it first came out. I don't know why. I either was not paying attention or it was not in like certain editions of it or whatever. I don't know. And that is a scene where we are having a fancy dinner. We have just learned that we are going to get food stamps. And as one would back then say, welfare. And because George Siegel had lost his job with NASA, which they, you know, try to pretend it's something else, whatever. And so there had to be like an evaluator from social services or whatever to come to the house. This is not something that they really do. And I think they may have like kind of made it up for the film. But he comes, now he has to sign off on it. Even though we're having this fancy dinner, which again is, you know, offensive or whatever, that we're celebrating being on food stamps and so-called welfare by having a fancy dinner. And this is when the inspector arrives. So it's already a done deal because she doesn't work and he lost his big job and he's been, going to unemployment, whatever. So we qualify. But he walks in, we're like in suits and stuff, literally, like pretending we're at a fancy restaurant. And very good looking, tall African American gentleman in a suit. And he is so not like pissed off, but you can tell, as per Ted Kosheff and the director and the script and everything else, which is completely politically incorrect, by the way. If you're super into political correctness, do not go see Fun with Dick and Jane. They don't say the N word, but it was back in a time when certain things were okay to say. That happens to me all the time, man. I was watching the other day, and do you know The Shining even has the N word in it? I mean, let's not go there. I mean, I guess contextually, it's necessary. It's one of my favorite films, and but in my like pilgrimage to it every now and again, I noticed that I had forgotten that it used the N word. But whatever. Anyway, the point being, a lot of that stuff, especially Latinos, Latinas, things, lots of stereotypes, like in the unemployment office, of course, and all that, were okay. As I'm thinking about it, actually, Latina was kind of like open season. I mean, not that in those times everyone was an open season, to include my community, so-called my community. But boy, like I said, there are some things that would really not be considered politically correct. But the overall, let's just do tiny bits on the neck. I can't really waste your guys' time with doing that because I have to do lashes. Believe it or not, yes I do, yes I do. Lips, lashes, and we're done. And I know it's a total mess, but we're here to have fun, right? Lips, lashes done, and we're here to have fun. That's what I say. Now, what I'm gonna do probably is I'm going to do my lashes because I don't want to screw up my lips when I'm trying to do my lashes. So, and I am, I think, one of the few people in the universe that uses bottom lashes. They don't even come in kits anymore. By the way, when you do your lashes, I cut them already stuck on the plastic. So bully for me, right? Yeah, I mean, we all have our little makeup picadillos, and mine was not only bottom lashes but nails. I think I mentioned that to you guys before, that if I was not wearing nails, I wouldn't do it. I mean, half the time I wouldn't do drag if I didn't have time for nails. Nails for me with drag were the whole thing. That was the whole thing. Now, obviously, it's not just nails. Going out in drag is not nails. But what is it? What makes you feel like it? Some people it's heels. Other people it's whatever. For me, I had to have nails in order to just, I don't know, feel like a woman. No. There's lots of drink holding and cigarette holding and all this stuff that, okay, let's just get this over with. One. We are fanning up with no glasses on. And so like I said, I don't even remember the last time I saw it in drag queens, but as far as like bottom lashes go for like, I don't know, any tutorial,